Hi, friends. I am back, and I'm going to finish the rest of chapter, I think it is 3 or 4. Chapter 4 of Toys Go Out. And I left off with Stingray stuck in the tub, and he was upset because his experiment to see if he could float did not work. He's not a floater, he's a sinker. So Stingray hears warble, glub, lub, mangle, and then silence. Lumpy has turned off the tap. Glurb, blurb, swubble, wobble. He has pulled up the plug by its chain, and the water is running out. Stingray's humiliated. She almost wishes they hadn't found her. It's so embarrassing to be a soggy plush sinker fish. And yet she is very glad they did. When the tub is empty, Lumpy and Sheep jump in and pull Stingray out. She's soaked through. They yank Tuk-Tuk down from the rod and wrap Stingray in the towel. Then Lumpy jumps up and down on both of them to squeeze out as much of the water as possible. Then he and Sheep hang Tuk-Tuk back up and help Stingray to a nice sunny spot by the window in the bedroom, where she can dry herself the rest of the way. Stingray can barely mutter thank you, but Lumpy and Sheep don't mind. The little girl's mommy is industrial strength tape and a bicycle pump. When the family gets home from the beach, she brings Plastic down to the basement, tapes her puncture shut, and pumps her full of air. Plastic is carried upstairs to the bedroom, good as new, except for the small patch of clear tape covering the hole. She can sense it whenever she rolls, a slightly lumpy feeling, but she hopes no one else will notice. It is excellent to have her bounce back. It will be excellent to see Lumpy. It will be excellent to see the sheep. It will even be excellent to see Stingray, in spite of the mean thing she said about hoping Plastic went to the beach and never came back. As soon as the girl's mommy puts her on the bedroom rug and heads back downstairs, Plastic starts singing a song she made up in the car on the way home. I'm a small ball, small ball, small ball, not a snowball, 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 not a meatball, 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 not an eyeball, eyeball, eyeball. But she stops after a while because nobody's listening. Lumpy, Sheep, and the toy mice are all clustered around the rocking horse in the corner, discussing whether or not it would be safe to try to use a hairdryer on Stingray. Lumpy, cries Plastic, beach, beach, beach. How was it? Lumpy turns around. Yippee, cries Plastic, I floated and floated. Did you see fish? Sharks, says Plastic, with big long legs and waggly tails. They were running all over. Wow, Lumpy is impressed. Did the ocean go on forever? Forever and ever. Was it much bigger than the pond? A zillion times bigger. Then Plastic spots Stingray all damp on the windowsill. What happened? She whispers. She's so soggy. Lumpy explains about the tub. Poor Stingray. Plastic remembers how it felt without her bounce, how she could hardly roll, and how she doesn't want anyone to know. She thinks about how Lumpy is not quite a real buffalo, and Stingray is not quite a real Stingray, but how she's a real ball and can do all the stuff that balls can do. She feels lucky. Did you know there's more than one kind of stingray? Wonders Plastic in a loud voice, loud enough for Stingray to hear all the way over by the window. I read it in the animal book, she lies. There are water stingrays and dry clean only stingrays. Dry clean only ones are bigger and stronger and much better looking. And they live on land, and other animals look up to them because they know a lot of stuff. Which kind is our stingray, I wonder? Dry clean only, says Stingray in a small voice from the windowsill, feeling a tiny bit proud for the first time in a good while. It says so on my tag. I thought so, says Plastic, because you're awfully big and you know so much. There's a pause. It's nice to have you home, says Stingray. Really? Asks Plastic. Yes, says Stingray. It was very unbouncy around here without you. I think they're all friends again. Now we're on chapter 5, how Lumpy got on the big high bed and lost something rather good looking. Every night Stingray goes up on the big high bed to sleep. Lumpy, Plastic, the one-eared sheep, and the toy mice all stay on the floor. The bed is a nice place to be. It has a warm patchwork quilt and 4 fluffy pillows. On the table next to it stand a glass of water and a stack of books. Every night Stingray gets to cuddle with the little girl. Stingray even goes under the covers. Lumpy has only been on the bed for short visits, and Plastic has never been up there at all. Why you, every single night? Asks Lumpy, when Stingray comes down one morning to play on the shaggy rug where he, Sheep, and Plastic are sitting around doing nothing. Why not me? You have to be clean to go in the bed, says Stingray. There can't be crumbs and peanut butter up there. Why not Plastic then? You have to be furry, says Stingray. Balls don't ever go. It used to be me before she came, mutters Sheep. I don't care, chirps Plastic, who's been spending much of her nights rolling down the stairs and then bouncing back up 3 at a time. Do you want to come watch me on the steps, Lumpy? I roll down like a race car. Not really, says Lumpy. I've seen you roll before. It's totally different on the stairs, pleads Plastic. Doesn't seem fair, says Lumpy to Stingray, that you go up on the high bed every single night. What do you do up there? Private stuff, says Stingray, between me and the little girl. But why don't I get to do private stuff? Sorry, it's not like I have a choice. The little girl takes me. She wants me, I guess, because of how much she loves me. She loves me too, says Lumpy. Of course she does, just not enough to go up on the high bed. Don't feel bad. Humph. Lumpy turns his tail to Stingray and pretends to be interested in a bit of orange fluff he sees on the rug. Lumpy? Lumpy nuzzles the bit of fluff and doesn't answer. Want to go look out the window? Lumpy mumbles quietly to the bit of fluff as if he doesn't hear. Or watch TV? He doesn't answer. We could play marbles. The fluff is taking all Lumpy's attention. It takes up all his attention for the entire day. He won't talk to Stingray at all. The next morning, Lumpy starts looking at the fluff again as soon as Stingray comes down from the bed. He looks at it all morning, all afternoon, and all evening. He does this for 6 days. On the 7th day, Stingray comes down and pokes him in the shoulder. Know what? She says. I have an idea for getting the girl to bring you up on the bed. Do you want to hear it? Lumpy stops looking at the fluff and looks at Stingray instead. We can decorate you, she says, to make you more of a bedtime buffalo. We could drape you in rabbit fur and flannel and put a big pair of fuzzy slippers on your feet and maybe some bows and ribbons on your tail and some pink and yellow feathers. You will look so cuddly she will have to take you to bed. Says Lumpy. What? Is there another option? Sure, we could break your tail. Just a small break near the end, maybe by using a hammer on it when nobody's looking. And then you'd be injured. The little girl would wrap your bottom up in toilet paper and masking tape and bring you to the bed to get well. What if you pretend to be lost in the closet, suggests Lumpy. Then she'd take me, I bet. Stingray doesn't think that would work. I read something you could try, pipes up Plastic, who's been listening in from a spot underneath the bed, but it's not very nice. What? Lumpy wants to know. It's a trick. They used it in an old TV commercial and science experiment. Subliminal messages. Ooh, submarine messages? Cries Stingray. Why didn't I think of them before? What are they? Asked Lumpy. It's too complicated to explain, stalls Stingray. Isn't it, Plastic? Plastic pauses. I can explain a little bit, she finally says. Oh, a little bit, sure. That we could do, says Stingray. You go ahead. I read that in supermarkets, they used to have secret messages playing very quietly under the music that people didn't know their brains could hear, begins Plastic. Messages that would say, buy sugar cereal, or you need to eat a lot of meat, buy it here. The messages would get the shoppers to do what they said. This isn't a supermarket, says Lumpy. Duh, says Plastic, but we could do like this. Stingray could whisper in the little girl's ear while she's asleep. When the girl wakes up, she'll think whatever Stingray has told her. Oh. Stingray is silent for a moment. What if I whisper, don't eat your vegetables? Or sit in front of the TV all day like a giant wet noodle? Or cheat at card games? What if my submarine message is, buy Stingray lots of presents? Will she really do whatever I say? Stingray feels a thrill. Plastic rolls side to side nervously. Forget I told you about it. Only maybe works. Only maybe anyway. If it maybe works, I want to try it, insists Lumpy. I shouldn't have mentioned it, says Plastic. It's a bad idea. Then how am I going to get on the bed, cries Lumpy, looking up at the fluffy pillows from his spot on the rug. I have to get up there. Don't worry, says Stingray. I've done submarine messages lots of times before. I'll get you up. It's hard to think about sharing the big high bed. In fact, Stingray doesn't want to share it at all. But even more, she doesn't want Lumpy to ignore her and stare at his bit of fluff all day. That evening, Stingray stays awake when the little girl falls asleep. Bring Lumpy to bed, bring Lumpy to bed, bring Lumpy to bed, she whispers long into the night. The next evening, after brushing her teeth and putting on her pajamas, the little girl lifts Lumpy up along with Stingray. The submarine message has worked! Lumpy's so excited. Cool white pillows, patchwork quilt, warm flannel sheets, private time. He can hardly believe it's true. But here's what happens up on the high bed. Not much. The girl's father reads 3 stories aloud. He sings a short lullaby. The girl kisses her father 4 times. He turns out the light and leaves. Then the girl kisses Stingray and Lumpy, tucks them under the covers, and goes right to sleep. Stingray goes to sleep too. Lumpy lies there and stares at the ceiling. He stares at the clock, which glows in the dark. He stares at the curtains blowing slightly in the wind. He doesn't feel sleepy. Psst, Stingray, he whispers. Stingray doesn't answer. Stingray, he whispers again, nipping her gently on the cheek. What? Stingray sounds muddled. Want to play I Spy? It's dark, I can't spy anything. Need a drink of water, moans Lumpy. No, you don't. I need another story. Will you tell me a story? I can't think of one now, says Stingray. I'm trying to sleep. Want to sing Camptown Races? No. Just a little bit? I think it will help me relax. Camptown Race Track sing a song? Doo-dah, mumbles Stingray softly and closes her eyes. Lumpy stares at the ceiling again. He stares at the clock. He stares at the curtains. He still doesn't feel sleepy. He crawls to the edge of the high bed and looks down. The toy mice are playing leapfrog. Plastic's reading one of the big books and rolling slightly side to side. The one-eared sheep is laughing with the wooden rocking horse in the corner. Lumpy sighs and rearranges himself on the bed. The problem is, he usually stays up late. This time of night, he likes to be doing stuff. Playing marbles or checkers or pick-up sticks, something. It is not his bedtime yet, not even close. Bonk! Lumpy jumps down. It hurts his bottom when he lands, but he doesn't mind. He's so happy to be down again that he kisses all 4 toy mice with his buffalo mouth and trots over to Plastic and offers to watch her roll down the staircase. Every night after that, the little girl takes Lumpy to bed with her. Lumpy feels he's got it made, all the importance and extra kisses of going to sleep on the high bed, and none of the boringness. He just waits until the girl's asleep, then hops down, bonk, and lives it up until midnight, when he very cleverly positions himself below the edge of the bed, so it looks like he fell off by mistake, and goes to sleep till morning. Stingray feels this behavior is disrespectful. It's an honor to sleep on the high bed, she complains. You're not taking it seriously. She, Lumpy, and Plastic are watching cartoons in the living room. The little girl is at school. I'm not sleepy at night, Lumpy says, when the show goes to a commercial. Fine, then, says Stingray. Don't get up on the bed. It's not like I have a choice now, Lumpy is smug. The little girl takes me. She wants me, I guess, because of how much she loves me. When it's bedtime, explains Stingray, you're supposed to get in bed and stay there until morning. Why? Because people bigger than you want you to, pipes up Plastic, that's why. Who knows the difference, Lumpy asks. The little girl doesn't know I'm hopping down. I know, says Stingray, I don't like it. What she doesn't know won't hurt her, and I'm not sleepy at night. Lumpy goes back to watching the cartoon. So friends, I'll stop here for now and finish chapter 5 next time. So I hope you're enjoying this. I think the characters are super cute. Bye for now.